Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at my undisclosed location because we have a model that's bringing a lot of excitement. This is a 2020 Toyota Camry, and this is like no other Camry before it. This is a TRD edition, and really bringing style and performance in different kind of ways at a new level. But let's talk about the Camry. The Camry has been that go-to for so many years. It's been Toyota's best-selling sedan, and really one of the best-selling sedans, and at times the best-selling sedan here in the United States. There was a gap of time where styling got a little bland. People started to refer to the Camry as a refrigerator or a stove or another appliance, and Toyota knew that they had to do something and do something quickly. So with the redesign of the Camry, they decided finally, hey, we already got it looking aggressive, let's take it to another level with the looks, but also take it to a new level in different performance aspects. When you hear Camry TRD, TRD stands for Toyota Racing Development. That is the branch of Toyota that handles all their off-road racing and track racing with cars, the whole 9 yards. One thing is for sure, that with this Camry TRD, you're gonna get that reliability that Toyota is known for, and you're gonna get a new way to go about mid-size performance sedans. So let's go ahead, dive into this Camry TRD and see if it really stacks up against the Honda Accord 2-liter turbo. Right off the bat, you know it's a TRD because of some of the additional body work and whatnot, but let's start with the headlight design. LED headlights, got them on, daytime running lamps. Drop down, our first zonk, non-functional venting. This easily could have been an air curtain or some other form of transferring air to cool the brakes or the radiator or just general airflow. So looks good, it just would be nice if it was functional. So that's a zonk for me, but guess what? This whole lower front splitter, this is full functional. I like the way it's gloss black to match the rest of the black touches around the car. It even has a dual level to it. So you have the piece that's closer to the front fascia and then another extension, a little bit of red trim and a kick up on the side. Like I said, this is all functional. It's not just for show, it's got the go. When you come across the front, you can see how this Camry TRD, it's not just that they tacked on some body work, the whole front fascia is different. Wide open grille, it's really kind of blurring the lines between its premium brand Lexus and Toyota, but I love this grille design. This is all full flowing, even up top, full flowing. That Toyota badge, the way that it's kind of wrapped by the red there, and you could get this in different colors, but I would have to admit that the red is probably one of my favorites on the front. Very low, very wide, and since we're talking about low, it's actually about an inch lower than your standard Camry. Now when we go up onto the hood, you can see how from the front fascia, the body line picks up, nice raised area, and then it kind of curves away and then disappears. Like it. It's got the personality, it's got some boldness, but then it knows how to restrain itself. When you come around the bend, there's that side kick up I was telling you about. Here's some more of that TRD goodness. And when we say performance, performance doesn't always have to come in the way of extra horsepower. Because sometimes if you have extra horsepower, if you can't use the extra horsepower, it doesn't do you any good. These are amazing. These are these flat black TRD wheels. They're actually forged, so they're going to be lighter. What that means is less weight, of course, on the car, but also less rotating mass, which is going to quicken up the steering. You have your larger rotor, different pads, more aggressive pad on the caliper. That's going to help brake this Camry a lot faster to where you could give more change when you're stopping on a dime. Also, springs have been upgraded by TRD, and the actual dampers, all four corners, that it allows that extra handling, but also to drop it about an inch, and the anti-roll bars, which is going to help quicken up that steering. As we go down the side on the Camry TRD, you have the black mirror caps, fits well, blacked out roof. Now, one thing that I know is a little bit of a sore spot for some people on the Camry TRD, no sunroof. No sunroof option. You're gonna have to cut your own hole in the roof. But I'm telling you right now, the red with the black, spot on the money. You can see how the aerodynamic treatment continues down the side. Look at how it's shaped and how it flows the air to the back of the car with the kick up. Like I said, they did this in a wind tunnel to test. They didn't just say, hey, I got some gum and some tape, let's stick some things on. It's functional. As we keep coming to the back, love the way the black roof kind of just goes right into that rear pillar and then disappears. And then really the biggest surprise for me when I first saw this at the Detroit Auto Show last year was this rear spoiler. This is a functional rear spoiler. Love the look of it. It's got this dip for two reasons in the center. For the third brake light, so that could be seen, but also you actually have a really clear view. None of this is in the view of your rear facing mirror. Blacked out on the badging, gloss black. Love the look, the Camry. There's our TRD badge, Toyota Racing Development. Same setup with the taillights. As we work our way down, you do have the gloss black rear diffuser, TRD catback exhaust. So that actually has TRD stamped on it. It's gonna give you a little bit deeper growl to it. My one zonk on the back is gonna be this little guy over here, this little fake vent. I think the car could do without it. I don't think that it's really necessary, but this diffuser is probably one of the biggest and sexiest diffusers I've seen on any midsize sedan, that is for sure. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see if there's any TRD goodness underneath it. All right guys, we have the hood open. You do have hood struts, which is nice. Underneath that hood, I'll be honest, I am gonna zonk that engine cover. I would like to see if this is a TRD car, a person who buys a TRD badge car is gonna want to open up the hood from time to time. That engine cover could be brightened up, but the good news is underneath that engine cover is that tried and true 3.5 liter V6, 301 horsepower, 267 pound-feet of torque. The Camry TRD weighs in around 3,500 pounds, 0 to 60 in about 5.7 seconds, and it's all gonna go through that slick shifting 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, remember, let's think of the competitors, the main competitors. So obviously that Honda Accord with that 2-liter turbocharged detuned Type R engine, naturally aspirated versus turbocharged power. With the Accord, you do have the ability to get a manual transmission, but I think with naturally aspirated power, definitely the key to success for ultimate reliability. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this Camry TRD and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the Camry TRD. I know you're probably saying, well, Joe, I need something now, mid-size, 4 doors. I still want something sporty. I still want something that's gonna handle well and stand out in the crowd. How much is the price of this Camry TRD? MSRP, it really shocked me when I heard it because of the value, $32,900. I think you're getting a lot of car for the money. Let's see what you actually get. Door panels. Now, door panels is a lot of dark material on, and I am gonna zonk it there. The good news is soft all the way across the top. The back portion, I do like that little bit of silver that they brought in, and you don't have any gloss black, which is great for fingerprints. You do have a nice bottle holder for a bottle of milk and a Twinkie, so you could wash down that Twinkie as you're going down your favorite twisty roads. On the dash, soft material. Love this. Love this silver. Why didn't they put more of this on the door panel? I think that this is a home run. The red stitch work as well. There's no red stitch work on that door panel. This soft material, the way it flows in is great. 7-inch infotainment system, obviously touchscreen. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It would have been nicer if this was a little bit larger. There's a lot of gloss black surrounding it, so if you're anti-dust or fingerprints, it does really show those two a lot. But you, like I said, to have the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, it is easy to use. You could click on whatever you want to get into your radio controls and whatnot. You could get into, this one does not have navigation, but you could get into your different settings, your range, whatever you want to click. So that is touchscreen, no dual climate. So you are giving up some things if you want to go Camry TRD, no dual climate. You just have your blower switch, your temperature switch. You have your start stop button here. You drop down, there's a nice little plate where you could take your circus peanuts and light them up here, or look at that, you open it up and you have a nice secret storage. It's perfect. Don't tell anybody about this compartment, and that's where you could put your backup Snickers and whenever you get hangry. Now, if you're wondering, well, what about connectivity? Because there's no wireless charging. You do have an USB and a 12 volt conveniently placed all the way back here for you or your passenger. But really, it's very driver focused. 2 cup holders. I do like the flat black here. That's going to control that 8-speed automatic transmission. You get a special TRD shift knob with the stitching on the boot. You have your 3 different modes: sport, normal, and eco. Electric e-brake, a little bit of silver. Armrest is on the softer side. You open it up, you could basically put, I'd say, 3 bags of Lay's chips in there, and you have 2 more USBs. So they do have you covered connectivity-wise. Key fob, very simple, very plain. So same key fob. It should say TRD on it somewhere. So I am going to zonk that. I would like it to say TRD. Seats though, guess what? You got your TRD embroidery. You got the red stitching. Really, really nice all the way down. And the great news is they're comfortable. Now on the passenger, you're going to have to use these controls to adjust the seat. On the driver, it's a different story. Also down below, you're going to get your TRD specific floor mats. And yes, you are correct, red seat belts, of course. And it really does help blend in with the motif. Light color headliner, which is nice. And like I said, no sunroof option on the Camry TRD. But why don't you get on behind the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this TRD special. All right, guys, business end. Like I said, to have the TRD, you're giving up some of the extra amenities. There's no memory setting on the seats, but you do have power assist with the driver. There's those Camry TRD floor mats. I know what you're saying at home is, I know you're saying, what about extra horsepower? It would have been nice to have just a little bit extra horsepower, but they did give you a nice overall package at a great price. I'll give you that. The red stitching, really, really nice. Another missed opportunity. Smack a TRD badge there, would have looked great, but you have your flat black buttons, really easy to use. You got larger paddles on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down your 8-speed automatic transmission. And then when you look at that dash there, it really is nice the way you have special TRD gauges, bright red with the needles, all analog. And in the center, you got that 4.2-inch display that you could actually toggle through different information. There's our tire pressure. We keep going. You have your trip, odometer, range, all that good stuff. Eco indicator. Overall, though, seating position is great. Lots of headroom. Let's check out the back seat and see how your passenger is going to be loving riding with you as you're carving through those corners. All right, guys, back seat time in the Camry TRD. There's some hits and there's some misses. So I love the way the leather's all the way around the back. Both seats have the pockets. You could put a book in there. You could put your abacus. You could put a picture that you're painting of a Camry TRD in that pocket. A nice area for storage. You want to put your 3 Musketeers in there, especially like those mini fun size. You could load that up. The challenge is there's no connectivity and there's no AC vents. But what you do have is lots of leg room, lots of headroom. Of course, the passengers, we can't forget about them and their red seat belts. Another area where I'm missing something, and it's going to be a zonk, no center armrest. It would be nice going down the Dragon as a passenger and being able to chill with my left arm on the armrest. But other than that, this car is about the driving experience. But before we get to that, let's check out the trunk and see how much space you have in this Camry. All right, guys, the great news about this Camry TRD is that it can be your grocery getter, or you could go take the family, go do an autocross event with it. It might surprise you and surprise the other people in your class, but real easy to find the button to release. Trunk opens up, nice wide opening, get the groceries in there, or like I said, go do an autocross event. You can bring all your gear, some coolers, some chairs into the back. Now, if you're wondering, well, what's the hard number on this? How much cubic feet of space? It's right around 15 cubic feet of space. You can see how they continued through the whole car with the Camry TRD floor mats. But let's get to the best part of any TRD vehicle. It's fun talking about while we're sitting here. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this down a curvy road if you're ready. All right, guys, we left the undisclosed location. We're in the 2020 Camry TRD Toyota Racing Development. I actually put it in sport mode, and I'm using the manual paddles. I actually like using the manual paddles in here rather than just letting the 8-speed automatic shift by itself. This is where you're really gonna see the dividends play off. How the car rides. First of all, even an inch lower, even with the different springs and the dampers and everything else, it still rides really great. It's not gonna shake your kidneys apart. And it's gonna give you that quicker steering that you really wanna have if you're going this direction. Definitely how I sit in the car, I feel really great, especially at least on the driver's side, you have the power assist. In the upper left-hand corner, you have your gear indicator when you hit the paddles, and the paddles are actually in a good place. They're not the largest, but I like the way they kind of curl over your fingers a little bit when you have your fingers up against them. It actually feels like you can't go wrong. You're not going to accidentally hit it or miss the paddle or whatnot, which in some cars that we've driven on Rady's Rides, that happens, believe it or not. Visibility out that back window, like I said, you could just a little see the top of the gloss black wing, but other than that, it's just like any other Camry that you would be in. Side mirrors are great. When you look in your side mirror, you can see the M plate for one of the sides of the wings, of the wing, I should say, not wings, but and if you look in the passenger side, you can see the other M plate. So just kind of cool to see that on a Camry of all things. I do like the bright red gauges. I like the analog tach and speedometer, real clear and easy to see. Steering has a nice feel to it. Still not as much weight as you could get in an Accord Sport 2-liter turbo. So that, to me, it's going to be interesting once we get to the twisty bits to see how that feedback correlates to overall engagement behind the wheel. But like I said, just driving down the road here, very smooth, very comfortable. The seats could use a little bit more bolstering, but the good news is they are comfy, especially for long drives. I know Lori and I had to, we were stuck at the Atlanta airport and didn't want to sleep there overnight, so we rented a Camry, just a regular base model, and drove her from Atlanta back to our home in the Tampa-St. Pete area, and the drive was really comfortable. So you're gonna get the same goodness in here. Do I wish there was wireless charging? Of course. Even I think for people living up north, you're gonna miss the heated seat and steering wheel for sure, but still, I think where we're gonna see the dividends, where we're gonna see where the money pays back is when we get to the twisty bits. So give me a few seconds, I'm gonna get over there. I know of a few in this area, and we'll see what this Camry TRD is all about. All right, guys, driving down the road, getting to everything in the car is real easy. The infotainment, I wish it was a little larger, but I get it. You know, they were trying to keep this at a price point. If they would have had this fully optioned like an XSE with the rest of the TRD stuff, you'd probably be looking at a $45,000 Camry. But the way that they did it, they wanted to give the TRD goodies, but keep it within a price point that is affordable. And at $32,000, definitely affordable for a lot of people that want a particular look. When it comes to looks, you're gonna get stares left and right. People are very curious. People wanna know what it is, how is that a Camry, all that good stuff. And that makes the overall experience of the car a little bit more fun as well. Over ripped up pavement, rides really nice, and then you're gonna get that Toyota reliability and a naturally aspirated engine, which is becoming something harder and harder to find. It seems like everybody has a turbo. It used to be once upon a time when you saw a turbo on a car. I remember when I was a kid in the 80s, you were like, yeah, turbo. Now you're like, oh, everything has a turbo, even a like Sonic from Chevy. Whoopity-doo, but we're almost there. Get ready, TRD time. It's almost like tea time, but we're gonna call it TRD time. All right, guys, we finally made it. It's like finding a needle in a haystack here in Florida, but we do have some twisty bits. I want to really show this Camry TRD what it's about and how it may not have the extra horsepower that we're all hoping for, but definitely it's going to handle like no other Camry before it. And what's nice is you do have that TRD exhaust, the catback exhaust, which does give it a deeper rumble to it. It's almost 350Z, Nissan 350Z-ish, to give you an idea, but let's see how we do through the twisty bits. Gonna come to a nice stop on throttle. Here we go. Traction control doing its thing. Shifting with the pedals. I have it in sport mode. Third gear on the brakes. Really nice. Wow, look at that. No body roll whatsoever on the brakes. Nice and flat. Brake pedal feedback is good. I wish the steering was a little bit heavier, but still doing great. On the brakes, downshift. Nice, look at this, here we go. Here's where it earns its keep. Look at this. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Really smooth, that naturally aspirated V6 on those binders, thrown in his right-hand bed. Nice. No understeer, which is great. Really feels good, super smooth, and I'm telling you, that front end really bit down very nicely. Now, what I would have liked is just a little bit more rotation from the rear, just so I could square off the corner, just enough to where when you exit, you're straight and ready to rock and roll. Other than that, I'm telling you, if you have more twisty roads than this little ribbon that I have found where I live, you might want to consider one of these if you need 4 doors, if you want something that definitely is going to stand out. The red, wonderful. Looking out over the hood, you can see some of that the body line that I was pointing out earlier at the start of the video. Good sound, transmission shifts fairly quickly, could be just a little bit quicker, but still very, very nice positive shifts and good feedback through the wheel and the brake pedal. You know, that's one thing when you go into a turn, you don't want to hit that brake pedal and then it's just mush. It's like stepping on a mushroom or a marshmallow or something. That's, trust me, that's no fun. What makes you fast around a racetrack is not necessarily, 90% of the time it's not gonna be more horsepower. It's gonna be feeling more confident, having the car more dialed in, and they definitely dialed in the suspension and the brakes and everything with this car, because it really is that much different. I wish I had a Honda Accord Sport 2-liter turbo to put it up against this car back to back, but based off of, with the Accord, based off this, I'm still gonna say the Accord is faster, and I'm definitely gonna give it to the Accord for having the manual, but still this is really a very, very close second. All right, guys, we're gonna go through another twisty bit section just for you. Let me drop it down to 4th, 3rd, on throttle. Here we go. Nice sound coming from the exhaust. Just gonna leave it in 4th. On the brakes, brakes feel great, really nice. On the brakes again, I'm gonna downshift. Nice, here we go. Really nice. Back on the brakes. Super smooth through this section here. Wow, the handling, the balance is wonderful. Wow, really hunkered down through that right-hander. On the brakes, this is a tight one. Nice downshift. Super smooth. Little bit of understeer because I carried some extra speed in that one, but still very, very composed, very planted. Even though this isn't all-wheel drive or anything, it's just front-wheel drive. Felt planted, and I felt very confident. All right, guys, one last time for you. Here we go into this right-hand bend on the brakes. Super smooth. We're gonna see how she really handles through a nice right-left combination. On the brakes, downshift, downshift. Here we go, hold on. Nice, great feedback. I wish there was just a little bit more weight to the steering, just a little bit more. Just, it's missing that one little touch. But other than that, feels phenomenal. Hopefully this showed you though that when it comes to performance, yes, we all like to think of more horsepower, faster 0 to 60, but definitely Toyota's done the performance business when it comes to suspension and the brakes and everything, and it just takes you and your skill to get and use that performance rather than just pointing it in a straight line and stepping on the loud pedal. But hopefully this gave you a nice overview, went a little bit deeper with the Toyota Camry TRD. We're gonna wrap this up and get back to our undisclosed location, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, we're back to the undisclosed location. I definitely, before we go anywhere, got to thank Corey, Zach, and the rest of the crew over at Toyota for getting us access to this Camry TRD press fleet vehicle. You could see that when we talk about performance, performance comes in many different ways, and this thing did the business through the twisty bits exactly how Toyota had planned it to turn out that way. Is it a good comparator against the Honda Accord with that 2-liter turbo? Definitely. And I think from a styling standpoint, if you want something that's going to set you out from the rest of the crowd, this car definitely has you covered from every different angle. But if it's vehicles like these, where they take sedans and turn them into something a little bit more, if you want to keep seeing them, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Trd Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Trd Rise merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, Tom Motioner, working that camera, getting all over this Camry TRD. He's loving it. He wants to take it for a spin. So Tom, we'll get that done. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.